We're quarantined with the Falcons thanks to Medical Mutual, trying to keep you up to date with what's happening with BGSU Athletics. Dan Meyer is the Associate Athletic Director for Development. And if you're like me, you got this in the mail. Renew your Falcon Club membership. And Dan, that's what we want to talk about first. And it's always important to raise money through the Falcon Club, but as we like to say in these trying times, maybe it's even more important. Talk about the Falcon Club and what you're trying to do to help out here.
Yeah, so we actually debated pretty internally. We had some pretty good discussions whether or not it was the right time to send out a renewal solicitation asking people for money. We know that people are in all different kinds of straits in terms of their personal finances and their jobs, but we just kind of felt like there was enough support. And these people who are regular Falcon Club members, they've been so good to us and are so passionate about BGSU athletics. We wanted to give them a chance. And, we did a couple of things that were intended to soften the blow a little bit. First off, we had Bob Moosbrugger, our athletic director. He sent out an email to everybody who was a Falcon Club member last year. And he shared kind of what we're doing internally to mitigate our financial issues that are caused by this whole pandemic. And we're tightening our belts as best we can, but we're tightening our belts from a pretty lean position already. We were the number 12 budget in the MAC, so any tighter, you're no longer cutting into fat, you're cutting into muscle and bone. And so we wanted to share what we're doing. And we did that in an email. And then we had our Athletics Leadership Council. It's a team of 24 donors and volunteers who sort of are our eyes and ears on the ground in the Falcon world. And we ran the solicitation plan by them. And they said, you know what, there's going to be people out there that can give, and there's going to be people who can't give. And the people who can give may look at this as an opportunity to even do a little bit more. And, they may pick up the slack for the people who just can't make their contribution right now. And we told those people who are our best people, but they just happen to be in a tight spot. If you can't do your Falcon Club renewal gift by June 30th, which is kind of our end of the fiscal year, we said, don't close the book and close the door on Falcon Club. We'll work with you. We'll get you into the fall, and hopefully with this whole situation kind of moving into a different phase, kind of a reopening, when people get their jobs back and their incomes back and things are a little more stable, we want everybody to feel like there's an open door to come back to the Falcon Club. So early results, we did send out our renewal solicitation, and early results are really, really positive. I mean, we've seen a lot of people stepped up and are doing 110% or moving up to the next level of membership. And that's really gratifying to see. Honestly, I would love to say that there's been a little bit of pushback on the solicitation, but just to say that, to be fair and balanced about it, but nobody has really kind of said it was a crass and kind of in poor form to send out this renewal. It's an opportunity to support. We know that there's a lot of love for the Falcons, and people are showing it, and that early result has been fantastic. So, I'll throw in one other thing: the budget that we're supposed to hit, the revenue goal for the Falcon Club. Bob Moosbrugger, as this whole pandemic has come down and revenues have kind of hit the floor. He said, we don't have to, we're not going to expect the same revenue goal for this Falcon Club solicitation. And he dropped it a little bit on what he's working with to aim towards the end of the fiscal year. And right now we're looking to well exceed what he's expecting. And I'm really hoping that I think we've got a chance to hit our initial budget goal from way back when we set the FY20 budget. So it's a testament to the Falcons out there who care so much about this place and about the athletics program.
And Dan, without getting too much into the weeds of how the budgeting goes and where the Falcon Club donations go, uh, fair to say that right now on the university side, the athletic side, we know there's going to be hits. So anything from your side is going to be even more helpful as a percentage, maybe, than it has in previous years, right?
There's no doubt, and really, what we did a couple of years ago is we narrowed down the Falcon Club to really supporting our number one priority, which is student athlete scholarships. And so what we're looking at right now is the 400 student athletes that compete for BGSU. Some combination. They don't all get a full ride, but those who get some scholarship support, it adds up to $7 million out of those 400 student athletes. So years ago when I got here in August of 2014, we were raising under $200,000 to offset that scholarship number, and we're closing in on now $1 million annually to offset just that scholarship number. That's not even counting the gifts that go individually to sports, that go to capital projects and whatnot. So the scholarship support, the idea is that it all starts with the student athlete, and if we can get the scholarship levels up and give the coaches the opportunity to recruit and retain kind of the best and the brightest out there, that solves a lot of ills. And as long as you have those scholarship dollars, you give our coaches a fighting chance. I mean, we have, you want to have the best and the brightest in terms of facilities and travel and all those kind of things. But at the starting block, you need to have the student athletes, and you want to give our coaches every opportunity to recruit. And when I got here in 2014, we were losing scholarship opportunities for some sports, and that has been something I'm most proud of, is that we've actually grown our scholarship budgets in every sport in the last 5 years. No time to turn back on that. We got to keep moving forward and add to our scholarship totals, because not every one of our sports is funded at the maximum that we can allow, that the NCAA allows for scholarships. So the goal is to get everybody fully funded, so that scholarship piece, there's never a student athlete out there that we can't bring in because we can't afford the scholarship.
Dan, with that said, there are other opportunities for folks to help out in different ways. Of course, you're the Associate AD for development, so there are a lot of different ways besides the Falcon Club that are either sports specific or program specific. Give us some other ways for people to help out, some initiatives maybe you have.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're losing with all this kind of shutdown, we're losing some very important events that were fundraisers for us in different sports. And I'm thinking off the top of my head, I've got, the women's golf had a golf invitational that got canceled. That's their big fundraiser for the year. We'll have a women's basketball event in the summer that right now doesn't look like it's going to happen, and that's a big fundraiser for them. And really, there's one that really kind of, it's tough, because football raises a good chunk of money, generally, 60, 80, and there have been years where they've raised over $100,000 at the Gridiron Classic, and that's our football golf tournament. We play that one at Catawba Island in June, and unfortunately, it is looking like that if we get it in, it's going to be in July. It's going to be a totally different kind of looking event. So we're really hopeful that we can get it in, because those dollars are huge. And the Gridiron Classic, that raises money for the nutrition program for the football program. That we have the scholarship fund that kind of centralizes all the fundraising for all sports, but every individual sport has what we call enhancement funds, and those are funds that the head coach can use for any kind of pet project or specific need for their program. And Coach Leffler and the football program has identified a glaring need in terms of nutrition for the football program, and they've raised, to their credit, in the last 12 months, they've raised over $100,000 in multiple ways. One being the Gridiron Classic, but also they've done a letter writing campaign to their alumni and letter winners, and big supporters, and just shared the need. And that first year, Coach Leffler raised $100,000. It was a start, and it was a start that, coming from zero, he thought, it would be a pretty audacious goal to raise $100,000, but he did it. And so he's realizing that the need is significantly more than that, quite honestly. And so he set a goal of $200,000 this year. Well, if we don't get that Gridiron Classic in, it's going to be a little more challenging to do it. But we're gonna continue plowing forward, because again, what we do in terms of fundraising at BGSU, it's not about bells and whistles. It's about basic stuff that really kind of focuses on the student athlete. And he wants his team to be able to get a good breakfast in the morning, and that's part of this nutrition program. Is kind of his team, his group feeding these guys breakfast, and then have enough on their meal plan to do a good lunch and a good dinner, so that we've got people who are not only big student athletes, but they're big on the right stuff, and they're built out of the right stuff. So these are initiatives, that's just an example of one initiative. Every sport has things that are important to them. Our men's soccer program's doing a real nice job with something they're calling it their units campaign, trying to give every individual alumni in their program an opportunity to join at a certain dollar level annually, and really kind of take a next step for the men's soccer program. So everybody's got things that they want to do. Volleyball, I know I'm actually double booked on this call. At the same time, Coach Tomich is having a call to try and plan for a trip, a foreign trip for 2021. International travel, who knows if that's going to happen, but we're really trying to, give all these student athletes these opportunities to do these really neat things that become part of their BGSU athletics experience. And it all comes from private support. So there's no limit to the need. We can find, if people are interested in supporting a sport or all the sports, we can plug them in some way or fashion.
And Dan, for those who maybe haven't given before, so they're not getting these correspondences from being already in the Falcon Club or already being donors, is the athletic website the best place for them to start to track you down, or where should they go?
Absolutely. There's links on our website, bgsuathletics.com. But we also have a page called Falcon Funded. And if you just punch in falconfunded.com, you can find the scholarship fund in there. It's a real easy, it's an easy way to link to the scholarship fund. And, it's a good point, because what we sent out in terms of the Falcon Club renewal, that went to people who have given in the past or had given in the last 12 months. The one kind of holdback that we made a decision on is that we weren't going to send out what we call an acquisition solicitation. So that would be people who have not been traditional givers to the Falcon Club. So in past years, that's been a pretty robust mailing, and we're missing out on that right now, because we just felt like we don't know those people in the same way that we know the renewal people. So there was a thought that we hold that solicitation for acquisition prospects. And right now that means that those people are not being contacted. So if this is a method to get the word out, we definitely, we hope that people are inspired. We hope that people are thinking about, the possible positioning of BGSU athletics right now. We have an opportunity to come out of this in a much better place than some of our MAC peers, which I keep saying in our meetings here within the athletics department and within my staff, we could be positioned really well if our folks continue to stand up and prop us up with their support. We got a chance to come out, because we know what it's like to live on a lean budget. We've been doing it. And some of these other programs, they're tightening their belts in a way that they're not comfortable with and familiar with. If our support stays strong, we got a chance to come out of this to be real strong competitively, and I'm excited about that. Now, there's a lot a lot that goes into it between now and then. But if people want to support, we'd be happy to have them. And yes, the website's a good start, and falconfunded.com is another place.
So go to bgsufalcons.com or Falcon Funded, and you can get started. Dan, I'm going to write my check and mail it to you as soon as we get done here. Ziggy.
Ziggy, I appreciate it. Take care.